Hello, everybody. Cedric and Teacher here, CR Wrestling Commentary. And for this one, we're going to bring up something that we was listening to. It was on Keepin It 100 with Conan and Disco. And Disco brought up the whole AEW fan policy or something like that. And wondering if Disco's wondering if he and Conan and their generation were either too strong before or too soft now when it comes to how fans treat wrestlers and whatnot. How fans body shame and things like that. And then he made a connection to how, and at first I thought he might have been talking about people in general, but he's talking about wrestlers, how wrestlers are responding to fans based on the connection to the pharmaceutical industry and the drugs that they just consistently push onto people with no matter what the situation is. It doesn't matter what side effects that the drug will have. It doesn't matter anything like that. I'm sort of adding that in there. But in truth, they don't really care too much. You know, because the truth is Big Pharma wants these drugs out there to make money. And they get the CEOs of hospitals and, well, the medical industry in general, the CEOs of that together and say, sell my stuff, you'll make much money. And then they tell their doctors, hey, push this, get them taking this if it suits them. But if this is something in their area, get them to take it. And that's one way Big Pharma stays Big Pharma. And CJ wanted to bring up something related to such of this topic. So go ahead.
Okay, I understand that wrestlers are wrestlers in their whole little niche world, all their own and always have been. But that aside, they're people. Okay? So, they have problems. And just because, and it may not be related to the shit talking that the what they call them, fans are doing to them, or the body shaming that they're doing to them. You know, if they're on medication for being bipolar, for being depressed, for having anxiety, for trying to stay off drugs, it may not be related to what's going on with wrestling, with the fans talking shit to them. So making that connection is stupid. It's always going to be more to it than that. Or it could be you're walking down the aisle, some fan says something and triggers a memory when your dad talks some shit to you and then punched you across the room. Having memories like that causes stress. Now, I'm sure Glenn and a whole lot of other wrestlers from the past, we didn't think about that stuff. We were men. Fuck you. All you did was just keep it pushed down inside and go have a bunch of beers or something. You just drunk it away. Or some other bullshit like that. Or others went home and beat some woman or beat their kids or beat somebody else. It was handled in some other way. So now, over many years, there's been a push to not handle it that way, to go and get some help. And getting help is sometimes pharmaceutical help. As much as a monstrous, conglomerate, terrible business practices that the pharmaceutical companies are doing and have done for a long time, some people do need those drugs to function, just to keep them balanced and making it every day, and decide, keeping them from making the decision to go leap off something and end it all. Prior to there being drugs for different disorders like depression or schizophrenia or bipolar disorder or anxiety, you know what they did? They stuck you in an asylum and let you rot. And then when Reagan was like, oh no, we don't want to pay for asylums anymore, they just released them out into the world. And then most of them landed in jail, because what else are you going to do with them? You're not going to help them. You got to stick them somewhere. So there has to be some in between. And he talks about wrestlers like there's some exclusive group of people who are above the mental health fray. And that's bullshit. And so I said to Cedric, I can see why Conan, who said on many occasions, that he don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Now, let me finish. Now, when it comes to the whole practices, fan code of conduct, I get what they're saying. Maybe they long for the good old days where somebody can run up and shank you. But they're not going to shank you now. They'll pull out a gun and cap you and won't think a damn thing about it.
They'll think they did the right thing. They'll be like, yay, see, I'm on TV and I did this thing. I'm famous.
So give me some codes of conduct. I don't want no crazy ass person shooting me while I'm trying to, do my job and work a match to make some money for my family. That'd be like the garbage man coming to get the garbage or somebody capping him. Come on, man. You don't want that.
That has already been happening.
Yeah, I mean, see what I'm saying? Somebody at a fast food restaurant got killed over, what was it? Marshmallows?
No.
Chicken nuggets? It was mayonnaise.
No.
What was it over there?
It won't. No, it was not. That's undermining it.
I don't know the whole story. I just know the headline I saw.
Yeah, they got killed because the person was either crazy, stupid, or vengeful. They didn't get killed over a condiment or food. That won't over. I don't undermine things like that. I'm not going to undermine it because when you get shot and killed, it's not over food. You can get more food. You can get more food. But people nowadays are just going out doing whatever they want to do and just shooting people up. But look, Disco Inferno, he was talking about how that back in his day, and Cedra glossed over it, that and she glossed over it, but she was on point. It was very summed up. But Disco was talking about how back in their day, that stuff they didn't even care about. And I call bullshit on that.
Yeah.
When these wrestlers go into the ring and the fans are saying what they say, it's not, as I was saying, Disco is conflating things. Okay, he's conflating what would annoy you with what would hurt you to your core. And you can't do that. That's not fair. The wrestlers going to the ring, they're already taught and trained to understand that the fans are going to say whatever they got to say to hurt your feelings. They already know that. I hope if you're a trainer out there and you're not teaching your students that, then you fail. You fail as a trainer because this country is based on the rubes being the kings. They want to be better than you. They want to be better than their neighbor. They want to be better than those that they have othered. So when your student is going to the ring and someone's calling them, a skinny so-and-so or a fat so-and-so or throwing a food or cheeseburger or anything like that at them or saying something about a dead relative because everything is on social media now and everyone can get wiki all this and stuff like that. Or, hey, I'm going to get your daughter tonight because they know they got 2 daughters or something. They don't care about the age, but they're trying to say what they can to get to that wrestler. If you haven't trained them to understand that stuff is going to be said because people are just mindless, feckless jerks that want to hurt somebody because they've been hurt. If you haven't trained them to understand that, then there's a chance that what they hear is going to get to them. And it's going to hurt them to their core because they might take it personal and you don't know what student you got. And the student might not know what person they are when they're pushed into a corner like that. So if a fan comes up and someone is like, look, I'm 26 years old. I've got 3 kids. Wiki knows about it. Don't know how they figured that out, but they got all my information. And some fans like, hey man, I'm going home with your daughters tonight. Although that is absolutely far from possibility, that student might lose their damn mind and go after that fan because they have not been trained to just rub it off. And Disco and his people, they were trained to just brush that off. It's nothing. They're going to try to get at you. They're trolls.
They also got trained because other wrestlers were trolls and they would get tortured.
Yes. Yes. I won't think about that, but yes. And so back then they didn't take it home with them because they didn't see it like that. Yeah, they remember hearing it. It goes into your mental Rolodex. And it's more of a shield for the next time you hear anything like that. It annoys you, I'm sure. But it's nothing that you're going to take home and dwell and stew and then erupt onto somebody with. That's the difference. They didn't do that. But today, with the way the culture is, it's like, the wrestlers have been toned down to not deal with that stuff. And the fans are not going to relent. They're not. And not only now that they know everything about you, but now you add with that stuff the whole, I can get to you, but you can't get to me thing. That barricade is almost like some youngster in a car. I can yell out this window any obscenity I want at anyone, and no one's going to be able to touch me until that one car follows you home. That's that's what they don't get. The fans don't get it. Some wrestlers look at a fan, I'm going to remember you. And they will wait. It's happened. And it's been happening backwards too, where the fan will say something to the wrestler, thinking that's going to get said back. The wrestler come back with his epic retort, and the fan is like, I'm going to remember you. Or you get some racist fan out there that don't like the way someone look, and then speak on it, and that person say something back, and then the fan go after that person, the person go after that fan, and it's on. And then everybody on social media can make their judgments on whatever happened, and nobody knows what truly happened. There's a whole lot of stuff. Are wrestlers soft now? I'm going to say yes, no. Were they harder back then? Yes, no. I think it's the same. It's just about how they're able to cope with what happened is different. And if you need a drug that's going to keep you from snapping off at somebody, like Cedric was saying to me, get on that drug. Get on that drug. Because no idiot fan is legitimately worth your entire career. And I'll be honest with you, the fans, if you boo the wrestler. If they are not your favorite wrestler, if you do not like that wrestler, boo them and talk about what about them as a wrestler that you don't like. Your finish is garbage. Something like that. Your tights look stupid. You know, I'm being very small and basic on this. Y'all can build on it how you want. Y'all can make it as epic and as insulting as you wish, but base your insults on the wrestler as the wrestler, not the man with a family or the woman with a family. You know, body shaming, nobody in this country should be body shaming anybody. I don't care if you scrawny, skinny, fit, pudgy, chubby, portly, obese, overweight. It don't matter. I don't care if you know, up north is built and down south is like, man, I'm sickly. Nobody should be body shaming. Okay? And if you're going to body shame, make it basic, make it general. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm making suggestions. No more, no less. If y'all want to go out there and keep testing the waters, just remember, ain't but so many times you can tease before you get bit. You know? So tease the right way, tease a safer way, because now it ain't the fans that's leaping over the rails. The wrestlers are starting to leap over too because they're sick of the crap. They're sick of the coming at them for real instead of for their performance or who they are. And truthfully, if you really want to get at a wrestler, man, you talk about that wrestler and their modern wrestling and they suck at it, or your modern wrestling will never draw a fan or whatnot, man, that will get them and the fans pissed off. That'll hit home. You want to really hurt somebody? You tell them that the modern wrestling sucks, and that is it. That is it. You know, so you want to strike home? There you go. I just gave you the ammunition. You got anything else to say, baby?
No, that's it.
All right, then. This has been Cedric and Cedric for CR Wrestling Commentary. And y'all take it easy, be safe, and see you next time.